Hi, my name is Daniel Neumann. I'm working as a software engineer in the platform operations team in Linux in the engineering department. And before joining Linux, I have worked at Microsoft in the cloud intelligence department, dealing all with Microsoft Azure and customers having multi-cloud strategies. So single cloud is dependent for which vendor you decided to go with. For example, Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services, or Google Cloud Platform. All these major hyperscalers are, if you choose one of these, you're in a single cloud. So you're specifically choosing one vendor and going with it with your cloud strategy. A multi-cloud approach is, for example, if you're a company choosing AWS, for example, as your primary cloud vendor, and then decided over time that a second cloud vendor, if it's Azure or GCP, would be a good fit so that you can choose the cloud services that best fits for your company, your product strategy. A hybrid cloud approach is where you have selected your primary cloud vendor and then looking for examples like how can I implement these kind of cloud services on premises. Each of these three mentioned cloud vendors, if it's AWS, Azure, or GCP, they all have their on-premises cloud products. AWS is, for example, it's called AWS Outpost, where you get your EC2 instances in your data center. Azure provides Azure Stack, and GCP provides a product called Google Anthos. And with that, you can drive your hybrid cloud strategy where you have the same environment, same management technologies across your cloud and your on-premises data center environment. As always in IT, it depends on. What I've seen in my past job at Microsoft is that most companies strive for a hybrid cloud environment. They grown enterprise environments don't go all in at once, so they will have for a longer time of period a hybrid cloud strategy. If you're looking at the startup environment, it mostly likes that you have a cloud-only strategy, so it totally depends on the company itself, but in most cases, if you're on your cloud journey, the most or the best fit at this point is a hybrid cloud strategy, moving project for project into the cloud environment and driving your cloud business cloud strategy forward, being maybe, for example, all in and using all cloud native technologies. The challenges foremost is like network connectivity, especially if you try to access data in your on-premises environment. You're aiming for a high bandwidth connection, low latency, so that you don't have to wait for responses too long, especially if you're accessing a database on-premises. Latency in the single-digit millisecond environment is key for success. What I definitely can recommend is having a so-called cloud governance in place, like naming in which regions I would like to deploy. For example, if I'm a Europe enterprise and I would like to go into the cloud, I have to make sure that I only store European customer data in Europe and not in the US, for example. What I have seen in the past is like that enterprises move into the cloud, spinning up virtual machines, databases in the cloud, saying, oh, it's just only for test. And a second later, it went into production and making changes into it, moving into another region, implementing a naming pattern is hard work to do it afterwards. So my recommendation would be to have a cloud governance in place before I move into the cloud environment. Yeah, if you are on the cloud journey, especially if you're driving a hybrid cloud strategy or multi-cloud strategy, Yeah, visit our website. We have a new product launch last year at our EA Connect Days, the Cloud Native Suite that supports you, what you are deploying in your cloud environment, and foremost, the best feature is having an overall overview at your cloud spend, what you're paying the cloud vendors for.